Is NASCAR actually scared of a Kiwi? Because here's what nobody in Charlotte wants to say out loud, mate. There are whispers, real ones, floating around the paddock right now that the most powerful stock car series on the planet is quietly looking at its own rulebook and trying to figure out how to slow down one bloke from Auckland who's making their American heroes look like learner drivers on a Sunday. 6 wins from the last 7 road course races, tied for 3rd on the all-time NASCAR road course win list. A man who turned up in 2023 sat in a stock car for the first time on a wet street circuit and won on debut, and it all comes down to 2 feet and a pedal. The rest of the field is too scared to touch. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why drivers like Joey Logano tried to copy him and bailed within a single practice session, and whether NASCAR is genuinely about to pull a success penalty on our boy. There's a precedent for it. They've done it before, and it's uglier than you think. Right? Let's talk about the feet, because everyone's obsessed with them, and for good reason. What Shane van Gisbergen does is called heel and toe right foot braking, while blipping the throttle on downshifts, all with the one foot, while the left foot works the clutch. To a V8 Supercars fan watching this, you're going, yeah, so what? That's just driving. To a NASCAR regular, it's basically witchcraft. Here's the thing that'll do your head in. The current next-gen Cup car, it doesn't need the clutch to downshift. You can bash it through the gears like a bloke flat out at a go-kart track. So why does SVG bother with the hard way? Because the hard way is the fast way. By feathering that clutch and managing the load through the driveline, SVG protects his rear tires from the shock that the drivetrain dumps on them under brakes, and at the same time, releasing that clutch as he turns in actually helps rotate the car into the corner. 2 advantages, 1 technique off 1 pedal, and here's the kicker, straight from his own teammate. Rookie sensation Connor Zilisch, the only bloke who's even come close, said it best. You never see him slipping tires. He pointed out that coming out of certain corners while everyone else is mashing the throttle wide open, SVG isn't even at full noise. He's not pushing the car beyond what it needs. He's saving his gear. So what happens on a long run? Everyone else's tires go off. SVG's are fresh. And then Zilisch's words, when he wants to go, he can go. That's not toying with people for the cameras. That's just a man with 20 laps more rubber than you. That, mate, is why they call it untouchable. Now, you'd think the rest of the grid would just learn it, yeah? Watch the footage, copy the homework. There's even a problem for SVG there. NASCAR runs an open data system called SMT. Every rival can study his exact inputs, corner by corner. They can see exactly what he's doing, and they still can't do it. Joey Logano reportedly started the Watkins Glen weekend trying to right foot brake like SVG, bailed out during practice. His teammate, Austin Cindric, was so committed to cracking the code, he ran a Supercars wild card in Adelaide just to practice, and he's still chasing it. And then there's the quote that says it all. Ross Chastain, SVG's own Trackhouse teammate, after Watkins Glen. My feet are on the wrong pedals when I do it his way. I can do it intentionally for like a corner or 3, and then I get to the next corner and I go back to my way. It's just muscle memory. That's the brutal truth, eh? These blokes have spent 20 years left foot braking around ovals. You can't unlearn a career in one weekend. Even Denny Hamlin, a veteran who actually won in Mexico City 20 years ago using right foot braking, has thrown in the towel on it. He flat out said going back now isn't an option, and he doubts a single young driver coming up the ranks will volunteer to learn it and stick with it. So if the field can't beat him on talent and they can't copy him on technique, what's left? The rule book. And look, before we get into whether NASCAR actually swings the axe, let me say this straight. What we are watching right now is one of our own walking into the biggest motorsport circus on earth and absolutely cleaning up a Supercars champion, a Bathurst winner, doing it in their backyard. If you reckon SVG deserves every bit of respect for flying the ANZAC flag in the NASCAR paddock, smash that subscribe button and join the crew. We're keeping the green and gold and the silver fern loud over here, and I want you with us when this bloke wins a cup championship. Do it now, then let's get back into it. Here's where it gets fair dinkum interesting because the reason SVG's skill stands out so much is that NASCAR already killed this exact advantage once before. Rewind to 1986, legendary crew chief Gary Nelson, a fella so good at exploiting gray areas, they eventually hired him as their own inspector, fitted a 4-speed Jericho gearbox to Jeff Bodine's car at Riverside. A dog box design. Forgiving. Easy. Suddenly, oval racers who'd never heel and toed in their lives could just bash through the gears, no finesse required. And listen to what Hall of Famer Ricky Rudd said about it back in '87, a master of the heel and toe himself. I personally wish they had never come out with it because what it has done is closed the competition up on the road courses. His point? Before that gearbox, the blokes who could heel and toe went to the front every time. After it, anyone could turn up and run okay. The skill gap vanished overnight. That's NASCAR's history in a nutshell. When something gets too dominant, they legislate it away. They banned the 427 SOHC Cammer engine in the 60s because Ford built something too powerful. They've outlawed gear setups, aero tricks, you name it. The success penalty isn't a conspiracy theory, it's the operating manual. So the question writes itself. Could Shane van Gisbergen be the next victim? Could NASCAR mandate a gearbox or a clutch rule that surgically removes the one advantage he's built his American legend on? Here's my honest take. A direct named SVG ban, never gonna happen. The optics would be catastrophic and the fans would riot. But a quiet technical update buried in a future rule book that just happens to neutralize heel and toe, mate, that's NASCAR's whole bag. That's exactly how they do it. But here's the twist that gives me hope. SVG himself reckons everyone's overthinking it. When Dale Earnhardt Jr. put it to him directly on the podcast, he basically shrugged, I don't think it's a big advantage. Of course, I'm going to say that, but it's all I've known. And he might be right. Because the real weapon isn't just the feet, it's the racecraft, the tire saving, the car control, the fact that he's now embedded with the same Trackhouse crew, finally guiding his own setup, getting the car exactly how he wants it. The footwork is the headline, but the brain is the engine. So even if NASCAR does come for the gearbox one day, I'm not convinced it stops him. You can legislate away a technique. You can't legislate away a generational road course talent. The SVG era is here, mate. The only people who haven't accepted it yet are the ones still trying to beat him. So I'm throwing it to you. Drop it in the comments and let's have a blue about it. Is Shane van Gisbergen's heel and toe a genuine hard-earned skill that the Americans just need to suck up and learn? Or is it a loophole that NASCAR should close to level the playing field? Skill or loophole? Tell me below. Hit subscribe if you're flying the ANZAC flag with us, and I'll see you trackside.